It's getting really hot in here. Do you have an ice filter recipe? Hi, I'm Arun, Sales and Marketing Director at Bettr and a home brewer. So what makes a good ice filter for me? Something that is vibrant, pronounced acidity, and also tints of sweetness. So something that tastes great when it's cooled down. And today we actually have two coffees that fit that profile. We have Santa Terisita and Los Nogales from our friends at Gold Mountain Coffee Growers. They are based out of Nicaragua. And also Mount Ijen from our friends at Cavenca. These two coffees have pronounced acidity. They basically have very different tasting notes when they've cooled down. So I think these two would be great as iced coffees. So these are actually my own gear. I have a strong liking for conical brewers, as you can tell. So this is from my camping set. These are my travel set, the Mugen. This is one of my first few brewers. And of course, my favorite that I'm going to use today is actually the Hario Switch. So with the Hario Switch, you can also brew by immersion method, which I find produces more sweetness in the coffee. So for today's recipe, it is a very simple, straightforward 1:10 ratio. So no fancy maths here. 15 grams of coffee with 150 grams of water. As you guys know, I'm by no means a trainer. So my method of brewing is very much a very practical approach, something that you can repeat with consistency. For me, basically brewing is a moment where I have a little bit of ritual to myself. I slow things down, I focus on what I'm doing. That single-minded focus, I find it very restorative. So today the grind setting is medium coarse. I find that produces the best results for an ice filter. Next, I have my water at 94 degrees Celsius. The first pour is actually 50 grams of water. Pour in a slow concentric circle and allow it to steep for 30 seconds. So let me tell you about the coffee while we wait. We've been working with Gold Mountain Coffee Growers for the longest time. I believe we have 7 single origins from them alone. They are very focused on social impact as well as sustainability. They're involved in projects such as building schools in Nicaragua. And also in terms of their farming practices, they're focused on zero waste and also caring for the environment that they grow the coffees in. This ensures stable and long livelihood for the coffee producers. Okay, so the next pour is actually 100 grams of water, again in a concentric circle, and you should end with 150 grams of water weight. At 1 minute 30 seconds, you put the switch in the open position and allow it to drain. Brew time should be 2 minutes 20 seconds. So I wasn't joking when I said this recipe is basically based on simplicity. So with a 1:10 ratio for coffee to water, the ice is also a 1:1 ratio. So some very easy to remember these numbers. So 150 grams of ice, we have 150 grams of brewed coffee. So just pour it in and enjoy. Delicious. So let me tell you about Mount Ijen. So Cavenca basically practices fair pricing and also sustainable farming practices. So they are focused on social initiatives that benefit the community that they are in. I have the pleasure of meeting Kevin from Cavenca at WSC Jakarta this year. He's deeply passionate about the coffee that Cavenca produces. So it's not just about quality, but also the quality of life of the people producing the coffees. So I'm following the same recipe over here, 50 grams of water with the switch in the closed position. Wait 30 seconds for the bloom. So the second pour, of course, is 100 grams. And 1 minute 30 seconds, you switch it to the open position with a total brew time of 2 minutes 20 seconds. So let's taste the coffees. We have Mount Ijen from Indonesia and Santa Terisita Los Nogales from Nicaragua. So first up, the Mount Ijen. So I'm picking up notes of berries, stewed berries, honey, lemon, and it finishes off with a chocolate note. Very pleasant. I think it works great as an ice filter. And of course, Santa Terisita de los Nogales. Ooh, very distinctively different. I'm taking up notes of plum and toffee, as well as a sweet milk chocolate note. I guess both coffees actually have finishing notes of chocolate, which is very pleasant. So my favorite out of these two coffees would be the Mount Ijen. I think the stewed berry notes are very distinctive. But then again, why do we have to choose? At Bettr Coffee, we have one of the largest ranges of single origin in Singapore, with over 20 single origins, and you can get them at bettr.coffee. Damn hot sia. Lim Pei got ice filter recipe.